Madame Azadi, I too want to salute you for your efforts over these last weeks and months. Your ability and that of your organization to marshal the support that you have in Europe and in the United States, I'm absolutely convinced has saved lives of your countrymen in Iraq. So from a military man's perspective, you take your wins where you can find them. You still have, in the words of an American 19th century poet, many miles to go before you sleep. But your efforts to date have been remarkable, and we respect them. Over the last 3 years, it's been my observation that the people at the camp have become political pawns. There, I think, are four players at this table. Of course, Iraq and Iran, the United States, and the Europeans as represented by the European Union and the UN. Each has a different sort of perspective. You probably noted that the American speakers today are reluctant to go overseas and be hypercritical of our nation. They will certainly speak frankly and tell the truth. But I will follow that pattern and say that at least my perspective of the U.S. approach is least understandable of all of those at the table. It makes absolutely no sense to me, on the one hand, to continue to list the MEK as a terrorist organization, and yet most recently for our Secretary of State to employ 2 ambassadors and their staff to do all that they can to look after their concern and their welfare. People, 3,500 people. What they do represent, I believe, is an idea, a passion, a powerful belief that first had voice in America and then in France, most recently on the streets of Tehran and in Arab countries, that says that free people everywhere ought to have a say in how they are governed. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies in particular, pardon my French, but that scares the hell out of the Ayatollahs. And increasingly, I fear the government in Iraq. To the degree I'm not sure that they will want to settle this situation as soon as we would like. I'm afraid it could play out for political gain on the part of both of those nations. And in fact, if it does, we and the rest of the world owe protection and concern for the people of Camp Ashraf. I think there are several things that must be done. First, of course, and you've heard it from virtually every speaker, we have to delist. The United States of America has to start with that. That's the catalyst for everything else that will take place, to include eventual relocation. Secondly, although I think it's very commendable that we have seen the UN and the EU issue mandates, I think they have to put teeth into what they're talking about here, with the eventual arrival of either blue helmets or U.S. troops on deck to ensure the protection of these people in what is increasingly becoming a hostile environment. These people are just that. They are thinking, feeling, talented human beings. They need to be involved as a part of what's taking place. There is perhaps a third good option, and that is from within. In fact, it's ironic, but the solution to both points I've talked to you about have commonality. The opportunity for the people of Ashraf to eventually go home, the opportunity to avoid serious conflict between the U.S. and Iran, both could result from change from within to change out the Iranian regime. There are storm clouds on the horizon, but they don't have to affect us. We need an Iran that does not seek nuclear weapons, that does not support international terrorism, and that does not kill its own citizens on its streets. Rather, one that encourages individual freedoms, provides representative government to its people, and seeks international and regional relationships. Ladies and gentlemen, we need an Iran that, if you listen to her closely, is the one that is envisioned by Madame Azadi. Thank you very much.